A wonderful afternoon if you like the warm weather, and that's what we're seeing plenty of around southern West Virginia as we go through this afternoon. Here's happening at I-64, mile marker 179. That's in White Sulphur Springs. Now, as you look at the top above the label here, you can see a little bit of that haze still from that smoke from those wildfires off to our northwest. But it's much less today than it was yesterday. In fact, the air quality is considered to be good from what I was looking at a few minutes ago, rather than yesterday where it was actually considered to be moderate. So that's partially because the winds are out of the east-northeast. They're not out of the northwest anymore. And so we're not seeing all that smoke transported into the region from areas off to our northwest. Sunset time this evening is at 8:47. So while you do still want to take it easy if you have breathing conditions, if you're going to be out and about later on tonight, it should be a pretty good night for it. And there is plenty of sunrise. The sun still out there to take advantage of. 79 degrees under sunny skies. The relative humidity is pretty dry. It's drier than it has been too at 48%. The barometer's at 30.07. 79 in Beckley, 77 in Bluefield, 82 in Lewisburg, 85 in Charleston, and also Huntington. Those are the warm spots around the state, in addition to what we're seeing in Clarksburg and Morgantown, which also check in with 85. Elkins is 83, Parkersburg 84, and it's 83 up in Wheeling. So temperatures upper 70s and lower 80s statewide. Visible satellite over the state shows some of those clouds that are making their way into the region. So it's not as clear now, it's not as sunny now as it was a few hours ago. These are all associated with another storm system which will push towards and eventually through the area over the next day or two. So as we zoom out now to give you an idea of what it looks like in terms of the satellite and radar, so we'll toss the radar on top of that satellite that it just showed you a second ago. You can see some of those showers over eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, basically along I-40 from Asheville down towards Knoxville, which is a little bit cooler now because of those showers that are falling in the area. And then we'll see those showers not necessarily make their way towards us, not these at least. There will be some others from our northwest that'll make their way into the region instead. So our futurecast does show that nicely. By Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we begin to see rain painted over the state of West Virginia by the Futurecast model. And that'll take us all the way into Saturday and also into Sunday. Some of the storms could be on the heavier side at times. And what you see here is the darker greens, which indicates heavier rain. Usually I'm looking for the yellows and the darker colors, these heavier colors in the rain towards the pinks, that when I'm looking for any kind of severe weather. But there is a possibility again for a storm or two to be on the strong side. And there's also a pretty good possibility for good amounts of rain too. This is over the next week though. So the good news is here is that it'll be spread out enough where I think flooding concerns are less than they would be if it were just over 1 or 2 days, but there will still be a possibility for ponding of water on the roads and the usual water standing in the low-lying spots. So the Aches and Pains forecast brought to you by AirH, pretty steady state in terms of the pressures as fronts stall to our north, so the pressures don't go down and up. Instead, they're going to stay pretty close to where they are going to be for the next day or two. And the 7-day forecast calls for that stalled out front to give us really good chances for rain, 80% on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, with a few of those storms, as we talked about on Saturday, perhaps being on the strong side. Right now, just general thunderstorms being indicated by the Storm Prediction Center. But as always, we'll track them for you. Meteorologist Katie Frazier will be here this weekend, as she has been for a while now. High temperatures are sitting in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Lows, in general, in fact, across the board, are in the lower to middle 60s.
Honestly, I'm kind of ready for some storms, as long as they're not too severe.
That's right.
I don't mind that. I'm ready for some rain.
That's
for
right.
the weekend. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad.
As long as we stay away from the flooding. And again, all that rain's pretty spread out. That's the good news. And we've been pretty dry. So the chances for flooding, as we talked about, are smaller, but they are there, and we will continue to track them.
Even though you kind of said it might be stalled out a little bit, but still.
Well, the front is stalled to our north. That's the thing.
Gotcha.
That's part of the reason that we're seeing so much moisture, and it's all coming from the Gulf and Atlantic, and that's why we just have those good rain chances.
All right, Jay, well, thank you for keeping us up to date. Appreciate it. And stay tuned. We've got a lot more news coming up, as well as sports, just after the break. Stay tuned.